We have to go to a meeting instead of a funeral. Try us. First things first. I am not the one doing this malicious compliance. Second things second. This is a repost due to my original post being removed due to uncertain fallout. I have now asked around and got some certain feedback. I am a student of a public school district which was recently taken over by the state government. Early on into the school year, one of my classmates died. We weren't told how they died, but most of us think it was a suicide. The funeral for the student was scheduled on the same day a mandatory meeting for teachers in the district was scheduled. My teachers got into a week-long argument with the district about whether or not they can go to the funeral. The district said this: you have to show up at the meeting. Cue malicious compliance. The teachers that were going to the funeral, I counted 8 but I'm probably wrong, showed up at the meeting. My teachers said that they took one step inside, then walked back to our cars. When at the funeral, I counted 8 teachers and several consultants. Consultants didn't have to go to the meeting. And now the aftermath. Good news. My teachers haven't been fired. But there is some bad news. The district is cracking down on teachers speaking out against the district. When it comes to the family of the kid, I don't know what happened. Info about the takeover. I know someone's gonna ask about this. So here is the info I have gathered on the takeover. Earlier in 2023 the Texas Education Agency took over the Houston Independent School District. Why did they take over? 1 or 2. Sources are conflicting on the number. Schools were failing. Due to a 2015 Texas law, the T now had the ability to take it over. To be fair, the schools that were failing would have been forced to shut down if the T didn't take over. So it was a bad situation either way. Nothing stops schools from failing faster than threatening the jobs of teachers that actually care about their students. Those teachers are obviously not the sort of people whom Texas wants around its impressionable school children. They're good people. They're not afraid to give a middle finger to the morons. I salute them. Bless the T's heart. There is nothing more dangerous to those who rule through ignorance than an educated populace. Upside down face. My brother-in-law worked for one of the big 2 cola companies as a driver. On his way home from work, he was killed by a drunk driver. The bosses told all of the employees that they had to make their deliveries instead of going to the funeral. The bosses all showed up at the funeral home. So did all of the delivery drivers. None of the bosses saw them, but many of the surrounding parking lots were filled with big red trucks. The drivers all hitched rides to the cemetery, then went back to work. Nobody got in trouble. That's so dumb. Like, don't they know that teachers are people? They live in the same area as the kids. They could be family, are close family friends, or just have a good teacher-student relationship. Either way, all people should have a right to pay their respects to those they lost. It's a lot worse than stated. What is actually going on is Houston dared to make voting easy and convenient for those in the highly democratic county, with some voting locations open 24 hours, and having drive-through voting locations starting during COVID, making it easier to vote by mail, etc. So, Abbott and his cronies replaced legally elected officials with hand-picked cronies. Texas Supreme Court is currently hearing the case. I'd like to imagine if the teachers had more resources but harder pushback, they would have live-streamed the funeral to the district meeting and shushed anyone who tried to talk over the procession. I'm from the Beaumont area and our district was taken over, but not for the schools, because of mismanagement of funds. I've been watching HISD coverage as I work in a school. They are losing teachers like crazy. As in, I've seen reports about hiring people with no degree to teach. It's turned into a dumpster fire. Abbott wants vouchers. And is also cutting special education funding. Somehow I knew this was gonna come from either Texas or Florida. Both states continually show records of the worst news and legislations in the whole U.S. Why am I not surprised at all that this is Texas? That's so sad. How did I know this was Texas even before the end? I am scared for y'all. Oh God, you're a student in Texas. I am so sorry. Sounds like an unjust situation. I'm proud and relieved to hear your teachers stood their ground and paid their respects to your classmate despite everything. I hope the district will soon recognize humans' needs over bureaucratic rules. Oh, Texas. Now it makes sense. I knew it was Texas. I lived in the DFW area late 90s, early 2000. It is the only state that I can compare to my home state. Indiana. Good old birthplace of former VP Mike Pence, if that explains anything. Our governor, Eric Holcomb, passed a law a few years ago that anyone can carry a gun. No permit needed. The homicide rate has skyrocketed. I have absolutely zero road rage now. Because you just don't know. Sounds like a regular OL Ministry of Magic farce.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.